Remnant Audio presents Saying No to the Invitation by Annalisa Muyen McDaniel. Dedication. I dedicate this book to my mother, Carol Muyen Wood. My mother influenced the writing of this book because she was a woman of faith and strength. My mother went through a lot of trials and testing, and she walked away victorious every time. She was peace. She was love. If you were ever graced to be in her presence, her embrace alone was so calming and soothing. It always reassured me that everything was going to be all right. It would break so much off of your life. It was as if you were going through deliverance when she wrapped you in her loving arms. She was the representation of the love that Jesus spoke about, the love that covers the multitude of sin, the love that covers all. I thank God that He brought me back from Arizona so that I was able to have one-on-one mother and daughter moments every day for 6 months while on our way to dropping her off and picking her up from work. It was almost as if God knew that I needed to build that bond, knowing that she would soon be gone out of my life forever. I treasure every moment spent shopping and doing everything that she loved. I recall having various deep conversations with my mom on my road to healing and freedom, where I asked her numerous questions about our history, why she was the way she was. I also inquired about possible generational or bloodline curses that seemed to plague our family. My mom, Miss Carol Muyen Wood, was very transparent about the incest patterns in her father's bloodline, and she included other things on her mother's side too. My mother shared things that she endured growing up in Jamaica, where she was molested repeatedly by a family member. It was then that I understood why my mother was extremely passive about certain issues. When your voice is taken, it leaves many empty spaces in your life. Certain behaviors will stem from that trauma. Until you are completely healed, you cannot have a voice for anyone else, especially if you're still battling to speak for yourself. I gave her a hard time when I didn't understand why she was so passive and forgiving. I would constantly fight and defend her at all costs. I didn't care, even to the point of people disliking me for getting involved. I always felt I had to step in to defend her because she didn't know how to stand up for herself. I'm always trying to defend others, but I couldn't stand up for myself. After a long conversation one day, my mother divulged all the abuse, pain, and suffering that she'd endured. I experienced and watched a lot of trauma and abuse firsthand. I had to repent to her for not understanding her struggle and for not being sensitive to her pain. At that moment, I finally understood her. My mother had endured physical and mental abuse, yet this woman remained strong. My mother was very forgiving, and her famous saying had always been, God can take care of people better than you can. And she truly lived by that principle. She allowed God to fight for her. I watched this beautiful, loving woman walk out God's love towards everyone, even to the people that mistreated her. My mother was taught to remain silent, to keep peace no matter what she faced. She was strong and loving right up until the end. And I will stand strong and help others to walk in total healing like my mother did until I take that last breath. My mom told me before she left this earth that she loved my strength and how I always fought for myself and for others. Mom said she was so proud of the woman I had become, and she wished she could have been as bold as I was. God is faithful to her prayers for her children. Remember, God will always vindicate His children. Rest in peace to the beautiful woman I called Mama, Miss Carol Muyen Wood. Know this, no matter what you face in life, God can heal your pain. Seeking professional help and having a relationship with God are things which can be done to assist and accelerate the healing process. For he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. Isaiah 53:5. Acknowledgements. I would like to acknowledge my husband, Sean McDaniels, for his love and support on my journey to complete my purpose in life. You keep me balanced, and you complete me in so many ways. You came in my life to help me walk out my process to destiny. I love you, baby. My grandmother, Cynthia Jackson, who worked hard to send us all to private school while providing us with a better life. Thank you for your sacrifice. To my father, Henry Muyen, you have always been there for me whenever I needed you. You have always been a protector and a provider. You are my world's greatest father, and I couldn't imagine life without you in it. To my other dad, David Wood, you too have been there, and your love language has always been your food. I love you for all you have brought to my life. I acknowledge my siblings, Michael, Cheryl, David, Fianna, Christopher, and Brianna.